put this one on there. Let's see what it looks like. Oh yeah, that's enough. That'll do it. Little dab will do you. And everybody ought to have one of these square body 402 kneeling boards there, so be sure and use one of them when you're working on your spare body. I like to hear that thermoquad do its thermoquadding. Yep, there's the keys, $49.95.95. Show you more. Yes, you too can own this 1977 Chevrolet C10 Cheyenne Pickup. Oh yeah, and before we get started, a couple of you commented that the problem was because the valve covers and the air cleaner are painted Ford blue. We may open this up and see exactly what's wrong with it without even doing any further. And then we'll have said, well, that's what you should have checked to start with. I told you. Welcome to RCindustry. Well, hey, it's Rick here, and today we're going to work on this thing today, and we're going to figure out what's going on with it. You guys have been really good about commenting and telling me this, that, and the other I need to try. So I'll let you know that we've got new plug wires. The timing is set, and it doesn't jump around like the timing here is bad or the timing chain's bad. It's got a new vacuum advance on the distributor, new cap, new rotor. What else we got too? We also did a new carburetor, or a new remanufactured one, and we need to adjust that a little bit. I haven't put the vacuum gauge on it yet, but I know the automatic choke part is working good. So we're down to two things. A lot of you have said, oh, the cam lobe is worn out on it. You know, and I've had some small block Chevys. I get it, and I would agree with you that that's very possibly could be the problem. Or it's a bent push rod, which, you know, this thing's set for a long time, so it could be that if something was stuck, you know. But several of you talked about the ignition module in this distributor, and no, it does not have points. Everybody was talking about I got the dwell set wrong and everything. This is a 77, so it's got HEI in it. And actually the motor in this one, or the engine, you know, I call it a motor. I realize it's not electric. So like I said, this is a 350 4-barrel out of a 1976 C10, not a 77. So the engine has obviously been replaced at some point, but it still has the HEI ignition in it. So no points, no condenser, but it does have that module in it, you know, the little 4-prong thing. And a couple of you really got into detail about how that module, usually my experience with them is if that module goes bad, it just don't run anymore. But some of you said, no, it can fail and cause weird things to happen. And it acts like you got the plug wires on wrong, is what it acts like. But they're not on wrong. And the other thing that's going on with it that might tie into the module, if it is the module, is this has a factory tack in it. And I don't know if this Cheyenne actually came with this dash surround that's in here because it doesn't have the wood grain on it. But it has the factory tack, and the tack does not work right. It's just everywhere, and sometimes it just goes like this. So it could be the tack is bad, but it also could be if that sensor, or if the terminal that plugs in on, if there's something going on wacky in there with that ignition module, then it could be that could be the problem. So what I did was I went down and bought an ignition module, and it's made in the USA actually, so maybe it'll be a good one. Standard. So anyway, we're going to put this in, and then we'll get it running, and I want to put the vacuum gauge on it and kind of look and make sure we don't have some kind of a vacuum leak. Because the only thing that I haven't checked for vacuum leak is the vacuum booster itself. Okay, so, you know, but generally that doesn't cause it to act like it's firing on the wrong cylinders. So I'm hoping that this is the problem. If not, we're going to take the valve covers off this and we're going to see which ones are not moving. I mean, if the cam lobe is worn or we've got a bent rocker arm, that cam or that rocker arm's not going to move much at all. I meant bent push rod, not bent rocker arm. But it's not going to bend much at all. You know, I had a 283 and a 65, and that thing, it wouldn't even hardly move at all. Of course, it had solid lifters. It didn't have hydraulic lifters, but all the rest of them were moving like this, and no matter what you adjusted it at, it just wouldn't move hardly. And it could be that that's what's wrong with this, but let's see if this fixes it. Show you more. Oh yeah, and before we get started, a couple of you commented that the problem was because the valve covers and the air cleaner are painted Ford blue. And I would agree with you, that's probably Ford blue, but I really don't think that's the problem. And one of you went as far as to say that it was because the air cleaner was flipped over. Well, I'll take it and flip it back, but this is race mode. You know. There's regular mode. Yeah, it doesn't make a difference, guys. I like to hear that thermoquad do its thermoquadding. Well, it's been a few years since I put one of these in, but if I remember correctly, you gotta kind of use a magnetic screwdriver because you don't want to lose one of them screws down in there. So let's see if I can get this cap off. I don't know why it can't be up here on the front of the motor. Engine. You know, like a Ford. But it ain't. It's back here. The struggle is real. That's got that. Okay. Let's see if we can get that up out of the way. You guys can't see nothing from there. See if I can get you over here someplace. Show you more. Well, hopefully you can see what's going on here. Because that's about as good as it's gonna get, guys. I gotta get a little doogie bopper for that. If I remember right, that is not the right side. That's correct. Okay. Let me get something for that. All right. Let's see if we can get this off here. That side's loose. This side, not so much. That. And as you can see, somebody else commented that these weren't free, but you can see these the flyweights are free. I did all that, so get on up in here. Now let's take the two screws out of that. Those are actually not screws, are they? I just don't want to lose these. So we'll put them over here someplace where we won't be able to find them again.
hit you. Sorry about that. Is that better? Can't tell. That's up out of there. We just need to unplug this off of here. I'm gonna have to get my little screwdriver. There we go. There's that one. Come on now, let's play friendly. There it is. Thing is really on there. It don't want to come off at all. Doggone. Wow. Little tab is not holding anything. There we go. Goodness gracious. It's got dielectric grease on the backside. That was another thing. But look how corroded that is. I don't know if you can see that or not. So we're going to get in here with some cleaner. And we'll clean those terminals. And we'll clean this plate. And yeah, I guess we'll go from there. Show you more. Okay, well, as you can see, this is really rusty right here. So maybe, and of course the new one, she's not rusty. So it's a standard. Let's see if it's this is GM module, so that's the original one, and this is a standard, so or aftermarket. So all right. Well, let's get them terminals cleaned up, and I'll pop them back in there, or not them, but this new one back in there, and we'll see if that changes anything. Show you more. Okay, well, we got that buttoned up, and I cleaned them terminals while I was down there. So let's get my pad off of there, and everybody ought to have one of these square body 402 kneeling boards there, so be sure and use one of them when you're working on your spare body. So, and I left that tack unplugged because I don't know if that's part of the problem or not. So let's see if it'll start. Let's see what our vacuum is here. We are
as you can see, it's still, it actually starts and it idles. It doesn't act like it's misfiring. So I think that definitely was an issue. But it still wants to, every once in a while, act like it's popping through the carburetor or something like that. So we've run all that oil and stuff down the gullet of that thing to loosen up any sticky valves. So I'm afraid at this point we're just going to have to pull the valve covers off of it, and let's look and see what the rocker arms are doing. Show you more. All right, let's see if we can get that valve cover off there. I want to blow some of this crap off of here first. Guess I should cover up. That. Let's get this out of the way. And let's see about this. It should be real tight, I would think. Well, that one's going to be kind of contrary. Put the old flexi on there. See if that'll help. Yeah, this thing's nice and hot now. It's a hot one. We may open this up and see exactly what's wrong with it without even doing any further. And then we'll have said, well, that's what you should have checked to start with. I told you. And you'd be right. Kind of stubborn. There we go. Ford blue valve cover here. Fairly shortly. Are we ready for the unveiling? That's probably going to be in the way. Get that off there without tearing up the gasket, but that didn't happen. Did you see it? What's wrong? They all seem to be attached. Okay. Well, this is where we get oil everywhere. But I don't know how else to do it. Alright. You guys watch that stuff, and I'll start it up. Them things are all going up and down, so it ain't that side. I'm just going to clean this up a little bit and put some sealant on here. Something that'll hold this. A gorilla booger or something, you know. Let's clean the back side of this too. I don't know what you guys think about cork gaskets, but they might be factory. But I'm not too crazy about them. Let's see if we can get that one cleaned up just a little bit right here. Now I'm going to put some red stuff on here because I know most of you don't like that. So put a little bit of red on there. That. Put some on here.
Get that crack there. Oh yeah, that's enough. That'll do it. Little dab will do you. You know, reuse that gasket a little. But she's gonna leak, guaranteed. All right, let's get that put back on there. Show you more. My name is Sam. Oh yes, I am. Let's see. Get this one off of here without tearing up the gasket too bad on it. Name is Sam. Oh yes, oh yes. I like my green eggs and ham. Well, that one stayed intact. That's a plus. Well, visually, it all looks like it's there. Okay. Well, there's that air compressor again.
That stupid air compressor. That thing kicks on every time I'm recording.
All right, let's fire it up and see what happens. There you go. That's the one right there. So now the question is it the cam lobe or is it the lifter? So we know it ain't rockering much. Thought maybe we might just start it back up and crank it down a little bit and see if it opens anymore. But I mean, it's already ruined anyway, so obviously. So let me stick this on here. Boy, it's too bad that's the one that you can't see very good, ain't it? That's just a mess. Let's kind of put that on there a little bit. And see if we can see what happens. Okay, well, we can definitely see that the issue is, oh man, we got oil everywhere now. Oh, come on. What a mess. Well, I think we figured out the problem. It's a cam lobe, for sure. So, or it could be a lifter, but either way, you got to take the, I guess we could take the exhaust or the intake manifold off and actually see if it's got a collapsed lifter. But I suspect the lobe's worn down. Number 2 there, for those of you who didn't know which one that was. Yeah, so I know what a lot of you are saying. It's like, well, just yank that thing out of here and put a big block in it and rebuild that engine. Well, guys, first of all, I could hoist her up in this tree over here and pull the engine out of this. But the neighbors and the neighborhood society or whatever already, I'm blackballed already because I got the junk truck sitting around. So I don't think I'm going to be pulling no engine here. I could pull the radiator out of it, and since it doesn't have an air conditioning system on it. I could pull this out, tear the front end apart. I can get the cam out and probably replace that without taking the heads off. Let me know down below what you would do. I mean, it would be great to pull this out of here and soup it up, you know, and put a high lift cam, and you know, do all the head, you know, just do it all. But you know, first of all, I don't have that kind of money, and second of all, just like I said, you know, the neighborhood's they're not gonna like that. So let me know what you would do. Comment down below, send me an email, I don't know, do something. Anyway, at least we know what the problem is now. We've gotten several problems fixed. I mean, obviously, there was a lot going on with this thing. So, let me get this valve cover put back on here. And, yeah. I think I'll just put the tires and wheels on it. Why not? I ain't got nothing else to do. Oh, my lands. I was not wanting to have to put a cam in this. I tried everything. Well, it is what it is. We'll just do what we got to do, I guess. All right. Yeah. Okay. Show you more. Well, those of you who follow the channel know I bought this set of wheels and tires down in Kentucky here a while back, and we tore them apart and repainted them, and you know, of course the tires ain't in real great shape, but they got some tread in them, but they're kind of dry rotted. So we got those ready to put on this truck, but I'm not real happy with them because they're only 6.5 wide. But a friend of mine gave me these. Now they need to be cleaned up and painted, and the tires are bald on them. But these are 8 wides, and they're offset. See the difference between here and here versus, let me get this spun around on you, and then here. See, that's, you know, we're talking, it's at least this much wider sticking out that way. So I thought what we'd do before I make my final decision here, let's take a tire off up here and let's try one of them on, and let's look and see, you know, which one looks the best. I would prefer it stick out a little, because these stick way in there, you know, these factory rims. And I got the hubcaps and everything for them, but yeah, I think I'd like for it to be sticking out a little. Offset, is that the right thing? I don't know. Let's see if we can get these off of here. On NASCAR awards here, that's for sure. On speed, taking the rim off, that's for sure. Heaven only knows what we're going to see when we get this wheel off. That thing's liable to not even have any brake pads on it or anything. Who knows? I don't even know. I'm assuming it's got disc brakes. You know, I never even looked. Friendly. Here, let's see what we got. Oh yeah, it's got disc brakes. Ain't got any pads left, but it's got disc brakes. Oh, it's just something one thing after another, ain't it? Well, let's put this one on there. Let's see what it looks like. Let's get that kind of lined up if we can. Like so. We'll just put a couple couple of these lug nuts on here. You know, just kind of see what it's going to look like. Maybe we'll put some lug nuts on there. Well, that don't look too bad, really. You know, but it'd be nicer if it was a little further out this way. Let's see what them other tires look like. Show you more. Oh yeah, I think that's what we want right there. See how that's almost straight up and down with here, where that other one sat clear back in here. So now I spent all that time in getting those other wheels looking good. So I think I'm going to sell these. So if anybody knows, anybody that wants a set of wheels, there you go. I got 4 of them. The other one's up there. And I think we'll clean these up and paint these. I kind of like them without the caps in the middle, really, to tell you the truth. I may just like paint that center part on that hub there and paint them black. And I've got some black lug nuts that I bought from lugnuts.com, so maybe we just paint that center some kind of wild color like pink or something on each one, and paint the rim part black and put some black lug nuts. And I've got some of these chrome things here. Yeah, let's do that. Show you more. Well, guys and gals, I know this is a little shorter video than normal, but I've got to figure out what I'm doing about a cam for this thing, and lifters probably. While I'm in there, I better change the timing chain, because I'm sure it's slapping. Although, when you was doing the timing, it wasn't jumping around, so maybe it isn't. We're going to need some rotor pads on this for the front. And we've got to get these tires or rims cleaned up and everything cleaned up, and we're going to have to get new tires put on them. Time-wise, I probably got enough time to get that done before Power Tour, but money-wise, I don't know if I got enough time to get it done before then, because the cam's probably going to be a couple $100, and then you got the lifters and timing chains, probably the time you get some gaskets, that's another 100, and I mean, not for the chain, but you're gonna have to have some gaskets, and we know we already broke the valve cover gasket on the one side here, so that's always gonna leak, I'm sure. So yeah, well, I don't know, let me know, like I said earlier, down below what you would do. Oh, I almost forgot to tell you about the No Name Nationals, or remind you, or if you haven't ever got on there, go check out the No Name Nationals. That's coming up in September. This will be the 3rd year for it. I'm not sure what we're taking. I was going to take the 74 Dodge D100 with the slant 6, but we haven't been able to work on that because we've been spending all our time on this 77 C10. So, and our resources, the old pocketbook's kind of empty. So, with that said, I do want to thank everybody for subscribing. We've got almost 4,000 subscribers now. That is amazing to me. I mean, 3 years ago I had less than 300, I think. So anyway, it's just wonderful. I really appreciate you subscribing, and all of the comments. It's been a real big help, especially on this C10. Everybody telling me what was wrong, and yes, those of you who said a cam, you were right. But I wanted to narrow it down. All the stuff I replaced was stuff that needed to be replaced anyway, so we didn't buy or spend any needless money. So anyway, again, thanks for subscribing. Yeah, it's been an awesome ride. So as always, we're making it just like brand used here, baby.
Run, Tallulah, run. Hi, baby. Well, there you are. You haven't been helping. You've been resting. You're wore out. I can tell. This one over here must be wore out too.